Chris Buck, the co-director on the movie, came up with the idea and pitched it to John Lasseter and had a very special take on the movie that just resonated with all of us, and we knew it was a movie we wanted to bring to the screen.
Yeah. Frozen is a story of a young girl named Anna who sets out to save her kingdom from an eternal winter that happens to be caused by her own sister, which so creates a lot of complexity, and she ends up on the epic journey of her life.
Well, there's so many challenges on the movie. I'll let you speak about story in a second, but on just for the studio, the creation of a world that where we wanted our characters to interact with the snow, not just walk on top of a white surface, but actually interact with the environment. And we always talked about the environment as a character in the movie, so scope and scale also played a big part. There were software that we developed on the movie to do the scenes that wasn't possible when we started the movie. So it was a real collaboration between the artists and the technicians.
Yeah, and on the story, Chris had pitched a long time ago a very special ending. It was very different from an ending we've done at Disney before, and it meant a lot to all of us. But to earn that ending, so that you would feel it emotionally, we knew we had to create a very big movie, and it had to have a lot of turns and surprises and emotion. And so I think that earning that ending was probably the greatest challenge.
Chris Buck pitched the idea quite a while ago, but it was about 2.5 years ago that I came on as producer, because it was at that point that they wanted to hire up the staff and actually move it into production. So the actual production part of it was about 2.5 years.
Yeah, and on average it's about 3 to 4 years. And the first couple years is focusing on the story and the writing and the development. In our case, we were doing them sort of simultaneously, because in a good way, we'd been moved up a year because the things were coming along so well, but it put some pressure on us. And by Chris Buck and I teaming up, I was able to sort of keep story going and rework that as needed, as he could help the animation and the environments and the character design. And we would always come back together again and keep the same vision. But I think to do anything under 3 years was a good big challenge.
It was a challenge. We've always gravitated towards the special ending, which was an idea that came on early in the movie that Chris Buck originally pitched, and just to see how we build to that ending has been very special.
When I came on the project, Ed Catmull said to me, "If you can earn that ending so we really feel it, it'll be great, but if you can't, it'll be terrible." So that was a huge challenge, but when we just a month ago watched the film finished with the sound and the visuals and in 3D, and I watched that scene where they're all on the fjord and it's white out, and I watched it, and it was like everything I could ever imagine but more, and I was crying, so.
Obviously we work very intensely on this movie, and it becomes very dear to us, but we feel like we've created this special gift that we're kind of waiting to unwrap and give to the world momentarily.
Well, we hear in France sort of the Disney Christmas movie. That's a tradition, and we were very delighted to think that this could fit in that, and it does for us. We all love that classic Disney film, but we've seen a lot of films. The audience of 2013's very sophisticated and has seen a lot. And so how do we create that, classic, but for today's audiences? And I think the characters were the key to us, making characters that were messy and funny and quirky and relatable to who we are, and yet still inspirational. And I feel like that's probably sort of how we did the balance.
Well, I think we tell this is a very epic movie and covers a lot of ground, both physically but also emotionally. We always like movies that can make you laugh, but we like movies that also make you cry. We can do both in the same movie. I think it transports you as an audience member to feel like you've really seen a big event.
Yeah, and as a writer, for me it's very important that every scene works on many levels. So it speaks to children, but it speaks to adults. We don't set out, or I don't set out in writing to write a film for children. I set out to write a film that resonates no matter what age you are, that you feel it. And I think that's the key, is feeling, whether you're feeling the laughter or the tears, or my greatest dream is that you go on this epic journey, and when it's done, you take it with you because you want to.